experience. Alright, so black-red Isareth here. This is a mid-range creature deck that has a lot of creatures that generate varying amounts of value in the deck. So they come into play, they have some kind of effect. And then we have Isareth the Awakener here, which is not quite a format staple, but this card's very powerful when it goes unchecked. 3/3 with Death Touch, and every time it attacks, it can bring one of our value creatures back from the graveyard into play. And I think this is a very reasonable effect. Every time you get to attack once or twice with this card in this deck, it usually has a pretty positive impact. So this deck felt reasonable last time we played it. Let's dive into some matches with it here and see where we end up at. Yeah, a lot of our little tokens have lifelink too, is also true. Things like the tokens that Danto First Fort makes, etc. It seems like not amazing, but I think we keep it. I like removal spells and 3/3s. The way my hand is set up here, I'm actually going to go ahead and be a little aggressive and Lava Coil this, just because I want to play my 3/3 out next turn. I want to use my mana this turn. Rekindled Soul with the 12 months in a row. I really appreciate that. And thanks for re-upping at the tier 2 level. I knight thee, Defender of the Realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Yep. Rude. That attack's actually, like, pretty good for me, because it means I get to go ahead and play this Ravenous Chupacabra, kill their thing, and attack them for 3. So I assume we're gonna see their Chupacabra come down and kill our Isareth, and then, like, we'll play another Isareth the following turn. I'll trade my Chupacabra for their Branchwalker, which sets the next Isareth up nicely. Enjoy the ride down, chat. Hopefully we draw an untapped land next turn, so we can go Isareth plus Enforcer. Okay, Rix Maadi's not the worst. Play this and pass. If they don't kill the Isareth here, next turn I get to attack and bring my Chupacabra back. Vivian, that's not that bad for us here.
And you can't stop nature.
I do have a standing desk. That's why it's able to go up and down. Alright, so the fact that they got this in their hand means I'm actually just going to go ahead and Lava Coil this, and then attack Vivian for 3 and play Dusk Legion Zealot this turn. They're a little bit low, but I don't think they're so low that I can, like, ignore this Vivian read. If they have land finality next turn, I'm a little bit sad with this line, but...
The wilds are my shield.
Clipboard Fusion was the one I've used on Windows before. It's a little bit of a resource hog, but it's very functional. I guess I just do this. This coming off the top is really scary. They're generating a lot of card advantage here, and I'm not sure we're gonna be able to slog through it. Between the Vivian's drawing her 3rd card, the Krasis is gonna draw them 2 cards.
Meet my newest friend.
Yeah, Deckmaster is currently dead. Kambani Machine, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at. Kill that. The problem is they're going to have the 6/6 Doom Whisperer coming down next turn. They're going to trade this here.
You'll have to do better than that.
That's attacked like 1 turn slow.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
Even if we find a way to check the Vivian, we have to grind through all the cards she drew after that, too. Alright, removal spell, and maybe we can stay in. The tough part about playing red-black in a matchup like this, oh, I guess Angrath would have been a good draw there too, huh? In fact, I should have kept the extra land because Angrath would have been able to have been playable there. Mods cannot time out other mods. That includes the bot. So I can time out mods, but other mods cannot time out other mods. Plaguecrafter's real bad in this matchup. They just tend to have too many other small creatures they don't mind sacrificing. Spyglass turning off Vivian is nice. Extra Bedevils to kill their planeswalkers is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and submit like this. This is a Karn matchup. This might be a Karn matchup. I got you, Camboni. The full Glandian it is. Do I want Karn in exchange for something else? Orzhov Enforcer's like okay, but it's probably not good enough to leave it 4 in this matchup. I'm gonna do that in Shrim Enforcer. This hand's, like, not impressive, but it's fine. Nothing you write home about. Someone asked about the Immortal Sun. I don't think that's worthwhile with our Angrath. Angrath's really good in this format. Being able to grab giant creases, hit them with it, and then, like, have the creases die is huge. Here's the reason you can't aggro out this ulti deck. Sorry, I forgot to unmute. I was commenting that the Marching Jay got sorted by 7 people. I neglected to toggle my mute. They have counterspells in against me. I guess that makes sense. Why would I swing? Doesn't really do anything. Are we dead? I think we're dead. Mostly dead. Should stack. So, if this resolves, I'm going to grab their Wild Growth Walker and attack them for 8, I think. And the upside to that is Wild Growth Walker dies at end of turn, which will let Midnight Reaper draw a card and this deal a point of damage.
Here be monsters.
I didn't want to Angrath last turn because I really didn't want to just trade my Angrath for like a little bit of tempo.
A fair price.
That's unfortunate. They took away my card to draw cards, that's sad. So don't have a lot going on here. We're at like pseudo parity until they draw a bomb, I guess. And like with Doom Whisperer going, they're pretty likely to draw a bomb. Like if they have like land Crisis for 4, we're gonna be in a bad spot. But if they get too aggressive with this while also being unlucky, we could just run them out of the game with burn effectively. Angrath's gonna die to the big old Doom Whisperer in the air this turn. Next turn I get to play Isareth plus hopefully draw a meaningful 4 or 5 mana spell. Maybe a removal spell even would be good.
Trains in the storm wrecks.
Midnight Reaper of the road, yep. Yikes. Whole lot of nothing going on. Literally no creatures in the bin for Isareth either. Hey, Modian, thanks for the $25 tip. I appreciate it. Whoop, where's my dashboard? And a Judith for some additional pressure. Sounds good. I'll get that added in after I'm all done streaming today. I think I'm going to go ahead and trade here, and then Isareth can bring back Judith next turn. That being said, this does give them an extra draw at finding a removal spell for Isareth. We are just dead in the air. Alright, that's actually a great draw. Let me exile this so I'm no longer dead in the air. Get Judith back, put them to 6. Alright, they're on a 5, sorry, because I get a bonus here, which is nice. Alright, we'll restart here in a hot second. The robot is here. Sounds about right. We played an hour of Moto this morning. Huh. Are they dead? I think they're dead, right? You have 9 mana? They're taking at least 1 on this combat step? Because these trade, they take 1 from Judith's trigger. They could have Stroke or Cast Down here. Stroke and Cast Down do allow them to live. Pass down. Oh, that's so brutal. Oh, it's so brutal. We were so close. We're one off. We can deal 3 to them. Yikes. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody over out in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you are someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed, this is definitely the channel for you. I play a ton of different decks here. We usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes. This deck, like many of the decks that we play on this channel, is a viewer-submitted deck list. So as always, a shout-out to all my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. They are quite literally the folks that keep me employed. Past my subscribers. What? That was weird. I conceded and then restarted the client, and then it put me back in without having conceded yet. Weird. Past my subscribers, I'd also like to shout out a couple of my very wonderful sponsors. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, you can be sure to check out their streaming content as well every month at twitch.tv/NRG series. I'm actually going to be playing in their standard March tournament, so if you want to see me play some paper Magic, be sure to tune in for that. BCW Supplies are the only ones I trust to protect my beautiful altars and all my other paper, TCG, and gaming accessories. They do sleeves, deck boxes, binders. You can save 10% on your orders at bcwsupplies.com by using code Jeff10. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code Hoagland at bit.ly/sugarbar. You can save 10% on your purchases there. And, of course, we'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate all of y'all choosing to stop in here today. We're heading on into our second match with this black-red mid-range deck featuring Isareth. See how that goes. Tier 2 subs can bump a deck that's already in the queue, Red Mage Frank. The BCW sleeves suitable for double sleeving. They are, in fact. Their latest set of sleeves, the Elite Guard 2s, are $8 for 100 sleeves, and they're actually taller than most other sleeves. If you ever used Dragon Shields before, they're as tall as those, so they work with pretty much all perfect fits very well, because they won't pop out as high. That seems fine. Like, not terrible, but seems reasonable. Welcome back, Griffithson. Alright, so the second Judith is probably redundant here, so I'm gonna go ahead and lead on this, ditch the second Judith. Hey, what's going on, Garden Variety Troll? Do I prefer matte or gloss? I like the gloss fronts because the matte can make your foil cards look a little bit less good. You know, it's more personal preference than anything. Hey, Zenos, thanks for the 313 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I lead on Midnight Reaper here. I'm gonna go ahead and attack first. I think I'd rather Midnight Reaper get countered as opposed to anything else. And, like, playing Midnight Reaper before I Plaguecrafter is ideal as well. So if they have an Essence Scatter or something like that here, I don't mind Midnight Reaper getting dunked on. Trickster. Okay, Trickster's a reason not to be as aggressive with the Rix Maadi Reveler. We're definitely, so, one of the things, people often ask, what does it mean when I say a deck is a mid-range deck? The best way, in my opinion, to describe a mid-range deck is a mid-range deck assumes different roles and different matchups. So against an aggro deck like Mono Blue, this deck that we're playing is definitely the control deck. Interesting. Right, hopefully we draw an untapped land here so we can play Orzhov Enforcer. Yep, Quip. People that check out the Quip do still get to bump a deck in the queue. And usually I look for a $25 donation to take the time to write a sideboard guide for a deck. This Plaguecrafter is going to be quite good, because it's going to let me sacrifice the Orzhov Enforcer to get a flying blocker here, which is excellent. Also worth noting, the Plaguecrafter doesn't get, is a kind of a removal spell that doesn't get counterspell except by Wizard's Retort, doesn't get Spell Pierced, etc. So this card's actually pretty reasonable in this matchup. If this doesn't get counterspelled, they probably don't have a Wizard's Retort, which means Siege King Commander could hopefully resolve next turn. Oh, you know what? I should probably attack first before I do this. I'm gonna go ahead and offer this trade because I wouldn't mind drawing another card. I also don't mind clearing their 2/2 out. Yeah, the Jund Whirler deck is very, very powerful. I've liked that archetype a lot. Someone commented on my YouTube video and said they went back and watched both the times we played it, and we literally didn't lose a match. I don't know if that's true, but that's what someone left a comment on the video. I don't keep track of records while we play usually. Yes, I do self-host my website. One of the open source projects I contribute to, my name's on the server and we don't use all the resources on it, so the other folks don't mind that I host my website on it as well for my personal stuff. Just jam Siege Gang. I just jam Siege Gang, right? Because if they don't counter this, they lose the game. Jund Shane Whirler, Ranting Bob. Rats. I mean, Magic decks flood. That's part of Magic, right? Sometimes you just, like, have more lands than spells. We're still 2 off of popping this off, which is nice for us. Let's lead on this, see how it goes. So, if they draw a brick this turn, I actually get to play the second Judith out next turn and, like, kill 2 of their 1/1s, which is great. Man, we're actually dead, huh? We're dead to a land? We're dead to a land? That's unfortunate. Oh, still dead to a land, right? They have Siren Storm Tamer. Oh, still dead to a land. They have 3 instants and sorceries in there. Just kidding. I was excited, then I remembered they had protection on board. Well, if they don't hit a land, we are in a position to kill them next turn, so. They can opt into a land as well. They scryed top, so I assume we're dead. Yep. This game. And maybe the turn I sequenced my Siege Gang Commander might have been wrong. The game did end that turn if they didn't have it, but I could have played 2 spells that turn instead. I love how every time, without fail, every time we get got by mono blue, someone always complains that it's not interactive. Like, if counter spells aren't interactive, what definition of interactive are we using? Because it must be lost on me. The mono blue deck is good because it's incredibly interactive. It's good because it interacts with what you're doing. It's not just an aggro deck. It's not just running you down. What do I want to trim here? Like, you could say you don't enjoy the play patterns of the mono blue deck, but I think calling it not interactive is some hot nonsense. I think Bedevil's maybe just too slow here. You are currently still sub-turner, so thanks for that. Sometimes when you resub, you have to refresh to send the notification through. Yeah, maybe Dusk Legion's too mediocre. I could see that. Maybe the removal spells are better than that. Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. I think a lot of people, like, they're using that as shorthand to mean they don't enjoy the play patterns of the mono blue deck, like, with counter spells, but, like, calling it not interactive is, like, doing a disservice to the word, right? Like, it's using the wrong definition. Like, you went to interact with their thing and they interacted with you back. I think Banefire is just too clunky on average. Banefire is not uncounterable until X is 5, and even when Banefire is uncounterable, they can still dive down it. I'm gonna play a tapped land on one rather than duressing, so I want to give my opponent an extra chance to draw a card that I want to take away from them. What would I play if Modern was best of one? Dredge. Not close. Alright, so long card advantage. Hey, the link between. Thanks for the 10 months, I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. It's not having meaningful choices. Well, the mono blue deck tends to have a ton of meaningful choices game to game in my experience. There's tons. The deck plays so many cheap spells that, like, you have lots of sequencing choices game to game. So I'm going to put a stop on my end step here. Nah, I'm just going to go ahead and Bedevil in response here. So this has to be a Spell Pierce or a dive down for this to not die. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people just don't like how counter spells feel, and I agree with that. Getting your spell countered feels bad. I think people stop playing Arclight in blue-red tempo because the sequencing choices that it makes you make feel real bad. And you'd much rather just be proactive with Drakes. Duress is looking really good here. Do I have a Riffle Shuffle an opponent's deck in live Paper Magic? I do my side pack that's got a pseudo riffle to it, but I don't actually I don't do this to my opponent's deck. Like I don't do that. I don't do the full riffle, but like I side pack like this, which has a little bit of a bend to it. This has a little bit of a bend when I side pack like this, but shuffling like this is how you randomize a deck of cards, so. You know, if you don't want your cards to be shuffled like that, you shouldn't play with them. Hey, NG, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna jam the Plague Mare here. Just need to get through their stuff. I assume we're gonna see an Essence Capture, and then next turn I can Ravenous Chupacabra and have it resolve. We're actually a little bit behind from here, I think. Interesting. We're just letting that happen. Deal. Quench does work on creatures. Quenches anything. I think I just pass here. I don't want a Chupacabra because it gets hit by Essence Capture, which then makes their creature bigger. Whereas right now, my Plague Mare can trade with their Merfolk Trickster next turn. unfortunate. Really hoping to draw a removal spell here, or a Duress. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I think we're done here. The Blur with the $25 tip, I appreciate that. Teamer climb sideboard, please. Also, do you think Scrag and Hellkite could fit over one worm? I don't think so, and mostly because the red's very much a splash in that deck, and you can't splash a double red card. I don't think you have enough red sources to do that. Yeah. One of the problems this black-red mid-range archetype tends to have is that we don't really have catch-up mechanics in the deck. When we're playing and we get behind on board or we draw one too many lands, we really don't have a way to like 2-for-1 ourselves back up in 2-for-1 ourselves back into the game to like increase our average card quality. We have like Isareth and like Angrath, but they're very narrow 2-for-1s. They're not just like Hydroid Crace where we straight up draw extra cards, right? They're very situational 2-for-1s. Hey, Sape, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. I appreciate it. And do I really want Ritualist Soot in my deck full of creatures? Is that something that I want? Like, am I just building a different deck at that point? Our curfew is pretty good. Lava Coil into Judy into Rekindling Phoenix. Good games, Miss. Good luck in the rest of your ladder matches today. Yeah, Judith, I agree. Judith has also been incredibly underwhelming in this deck list. Judith has felt very underwhelming. We're still at 13 and they only have 2 cards left, so probably in a good spot here. We're at 13 and they have 1 card left. They have a Rekindling Phoenix next turn. The original deck submission did run Judith, yep. Yeah, Judith's kind of a build-around card in a way, right? Yeah, in a more aggressively slanted deck, Judith's very good, but in this more mid-range shell, I think let's try and cut her in the match after this, perhaps. That could be like some Theater of Horrors, maybe, like two Theaters and like one other creature. Like another Rekindling Phoenix probably isn't bad. Rekindling Phoenix plays well with Theater of Horrors just because it enables us to hit them in the air. This deck does have a lot of parallels to the Jundwhirler deck, and I think that one's probably a little bit more powerful, just from that catch-up mechanic. Easy block, go to 6. Hopefully we don't get burned out here. So this lets me attack for 4 and then have them dead on board. So they need to kill us or kill our creatures here. Alright, what are they doing? Mono red. So Moment of Craving sounds great here. These Bedevils are like, okay. Midnight Reaper and Dusk Legion Zealot are kind of a liability. It's probably fine. I'm not a huge fan of Duress in this matchup. Plague Mare is okay-ish, yeah. we've been losing a lot of matches today, so we're down to like 9 something. We were ranked 90 at one point today, and we're currently down to 900. So it's been a tough day so far. Belhaunt's a great control card. Generates some card advantage, gains you health against aggro decks, blocks, it slices, it dices. Spyglass is a way to lock out planeswalkers. We've played a bunch of things that we've won matches with. I don't really keep track of what we win with, because I don't really care about my rank. I'm not gonna attack here. I think that's too aggressive. If I attack with this, they like lightning strike this, they get to hit me for 2, and I really just want to conserve my health total here. We're definitely the control deck in this matchup, so the longer it goes, the better off we are. I want to do everything in my power to like make the game go as long as possible. Now I am gonna attack with Isareth here, because Isareth would have to get double blocked to die, and I'm okay with them double blocking because I have a Bedevil. And if they spend a removal spell killing the Orzhov Enforcer, that's okay, because it leaves behind a 1/1. The spreadsheet deck today was Teamer Scapeshift, and it was very bad. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with both of these, and then jam the CGN Commander down their throat. I agree. I was watching a streamer last night, and they were talking about how they couldn't change decks because they had to worry about their MMR, and I was just like, all right, well, I'm bored of watching this deck. I'm going to change to someone else. The Swedish Herring with the $5 tip. Thank you for that. Long-time follower yourself, but never catch you live. Well, thanks for dropping in today. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Why was I homeschooled growing up? Because waking up at 7 a.m. to be at school by 8 a.m. sounded miserable. Why would I want to do that every day? My teenage years were great. We woke up at like 10 a.m. most mornings, like did 3 or 4 hours of schoolwork, and then like played Counter-Strike for like the next 6 hours after that. It was a truly charmed life. Remember we used to tap Firelit Thicket? I remember. Thank you for the 31 months, Magician. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. Am I gonna homeschool my kids? I don't know. Probably not for grade school. Declan and Jake both really like the preschool program that they're in now, so I'll probably let them keep doing that. But in high school or junior high, if they want to, I might. Only creation is homeschooled. No, what's the best way to describe it? Homeschooled people in the United States are a lot like people from Florida. Only the really crazy ones tend to make television, and it skews the perception of people based on the demographic of people that you see on TV. Alright, so Judah's been real mediocre. I'm gonna put another Rekindling Phoenix in, and I'm gonna try a couple copies of Theater. Seems fine. Yeah, let's just pick that spot. It's wacky down there. I resemble that implication. That was a positive message towards people from Florida, by the way. I was saying that most people in Florida aren't as wild as the things we see on TV. That was a positive. Basically on TV. You're not wrong. Actually, the biggest leg up to being homeschooled is let me start college when I was 16. A lot of the stuff you do in high school is a giant waste of time. You might as well start college early. I'm gonna bottom that. I have 2, 3, 4, just looking to draw another land. Doesn't homeschooling hinder social development? That's one of those, like, big FUD things that people like to say, and the easiest response to that was always, if you think kids are only getting social interaction from school and not outside of that, those kids are actually the problem. So well-balanced, well-developed people should be getting social interactions from more than just 30 people who are also the same age as them. A lot of colleges, especially community colleges, just let you take a placement exam. So we're definitely attacking for 4 here. I think I want to jam Rekindling Phoenix. It looks like they're probably a Nexus or a Fog deck, so I want to just like be as aggressive as possible. Yeah, I think I'm putting them on a Nexus deck, which means I just want to attack. Confirm the Nexus deck. And now I think I play Theater out just because it's a way to deal damage through fog effects. I'm gonna go to grad school in Florida, so please say I don't wind up on the news for insanity. Thanks for the 8 months, Trusty. And thanks for the tier 2 resub. Be sure to let me know what deck you'd like to bump, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. Am I dead yet? I actually just went to a community college for my first 2 years of undergrad, which you didn't need to take the SAT or ACT to get into. You just like went to the school and took a placement exam. God, that was forever ago. It was like literally over a decade ago. Literally. All right, let's lead on Plaguecrafter here in case they have another counterspell. I wonder if I'm supposed to lead on Lava Coil. Getting up to 10 here is a big deal. Means they don't die to this attack, which is annoying. Will do, Trusty. Thanks for the support. I need a hero. Correct. College costs way too much in the United States. The first time ever I tried best of 3 today. Went into the sideboarding phase without thinking and calmly changed my deck and shut him out. Nice, Dab. Congrats. Yeah, getting that first moment when you really start to get a handle on like how your sideboard cards work is just, it's one of those big level up moments in Magic. You're like, okay, I can do this. I have a better grasp of like which cards go in and out, why these things are bad and why they're changes I want to make. I actually never took the SAT growing up. That was when I was in high school. That was before they phased out the ACT. I'm from South Florida, and that's accurate. I was homeschooled after 8th grade. Missing high school saved me years of stifled development. Also, please bump a legacy deck of your choice. Will do, Alexander. I appreciate that. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub at that. Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at. Am I dead yet? Wonder if I jammed Theater too early. I suspect we're dead too. They have a lot of cards over there.
Let's slow this down.
Listening to this from high school.
You need to take a time out.
Huh. Am I not dead? Why is this a good match for Judith? Most of our things don't actually die. I guess she gives us more power on the board. But, like, Judith ended up being the same as the other thing would have been. Alright, so they're dead to removal. Shockland is a lot like removal. Hey, thanks for the tip. I appreciate that. Thanks for the awesome content. Useful, Van. So, that's such a tilt. I've not played a red-black priest deck that I've liked, but we did play a black-white build that felt pretty good. Oh, that's a good suggestion. I like that suggestion. I should have sent the 1-2 at Teferi because the bird kills them so they have to block it, and the 1-2 would have taken Teferi off. The difference in being at 1 and 2 is about the same. Yeah, I agree. I think we're dead either way, and I'm kind of just resigned to it, so I wasn't thinking about it. I think even without the Teferi, we're probably dead. I think I'm actually going to trim Isareth in this matchup. I conceded there because the reason my opponent played the card that could have prevented me from killing them the next turn is because I wasn't getting a next turn. That's why I conceded. The reason why my opponent played the card that prevented me from killing them the following turn was because I wasn't getting a next turn. This card's pretty medium here. How do I feel about these Bedevils? I probably don't want all of them, actually. Let's get some cards in here so I can find my impactful cards more often. It's very situational, Mirtriel. Rix Maadi is good because it's a flexible card. When it's early in the game and you need to smooth out your hand, like you're looking for lands or you're looking for spells, it can help do that. But in the mid to late game, Rix Maadi can just be a draw 3. Giant T, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate it. I'm really not a fan of the Teamer control deck with Wilderness Reclamation and Expansion Closures to win condition. It feels really cheeky and mediocre. Just like, it's doing something for the sake of being cute rather for the sake of being powerful is what it feels like. Just have not been a fan of it when we played with or against it. I mean, we've played it on stream before, Burgle. I mean, this is a mid-range deck, Mirteal. Like, we're playing a mid-range deck. It's closer to a mid-range deck because that's what it is. I think one of the worst places you can be in the format right now is a mid-range aggro deck, just because, like, Sultai and Wildgrowth Walker dumpster those archetypes so good. I've not played with or seen a Captive Grixis deck, no. Alright, do you have an Absorb? You do. It's a shame that didn't happen there, because we turned the Orzhov Enforcer into a card, plus make them discard. I think playing around Seal Away is generally narrow and bad. Hey, Mr. Payne, thank you for the biddies, I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for the support. That's unfortunate. Another counterspell.
You're just fuel to the fires of freedom.
Yoink.
Your crew for my freedom? A fair price.
So this is 12. Woof, they do have Seal Away. This probably means we're not beating the Lyra. If we'd have gotten them to 3 here, they'd only be going to 8. I assume based on the results, Sultai is the best performing Explorer plus Grace's deck, yeah. I personally am a fan of the climb-based variations that I wrote about today in my article, just because they tend to have a little bit more explosive draws, but yeah, these Sultai variations are definitely the ones that have been putting up the most numbers at paper tournaments so far. Maybe this Isareth will resolve and get back a Plaguecrafter next turn, which will let us take the Lyra off the table. Was the attack with the Spirit worth it? Instead of me telling you why the attack with the Spirit was worth it, can you tell me why you think it isn't worth it? To block Lyra and protect Angrath. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's true. Blocking with it to keep the 2 damage off of Angrath. I agree with that, yeah. That's why the details matter. That's why it's good to be constructive and specific. The last couple of cards are poop. We might have a chance here. If these both resolve, we'll keep playing. Genuinely don't know, Debo. The amount of games you have to grind in order to know what's 100% the best is like way more than I've played. I personally am a fan of everything except the Bant build I think are not fantastic, but Sultai, Teamer, and straight blue-green like all have merit. Different directions. Hey, HS Answer, thanks for shipping your Prime this way for the 4th month in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. really just not a fan of what this deck is doing. I think it's a little bit like it's too middling. It's too much caught between trying to be an aggressive deck while also trying to be a mid-range deck without any good card advantage. Like, we don't have the oomph to, like, push through, like, what the good mid-range decks like Solitaire are doing. We don't have the aggression to get under control decks or the combo decks efficiently. I think if I wanted to play a black-red mid-range base deck in the format, I would definitely recommend playing the Jund Whirler deck. I think what that deck is doing is just more cohesive and put together than what this deck is trying to do. This card's, like, interesting, but, like, there's too many situations where, like, she resolves and she gets to attack, and you just, like, don't have meaningful things to bring back from your graveyard. Yeah, I'd either recommend playing, like, black-red aggro from my website or playing something like the Jund Chain Whirler deck that's there as well. I'm actually excited to get back to this next one. This next one, where are we at? This is one that we haven't played yet this season, but this was a deck I really liked at the end of last season. I'm interested to see if this can go toe-to-toe with the Krasis decks in the format. This deck wants another Cry of the Canarium in the 75. Infinite T, thank you for the 12 months. I appreciate that. I knight thee, Defender of the Realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Do I want an extra Cry? I kind of feel like I want one more Cry. I tend to shy away from questions that ask me to predict the future, because I'm just like, you know, I'm really bad at predicting the future. If I was good at it, I use it for something more profitable than